All right, let's get right into it. We're about to crack the marketing code. We're going to uncover the 5 essential truths that separate the brands that absolutely crush it from the ones that have amazing products but somehow still fail.
I mean, it's got to be the most frustrating question in all of business, right? You pour your heart, your soul, everything you've got into creating something amazing. You know people need it. And yet, crickets. The customers just aren't showing up. It feels like you're just shouting into a void. So, why? Why does this keep happening? Okay, let's just get one thing straight right off the bat. This quote from the marketing legend Joe Polish, it just hits the nail on the head. More often than not, the problem isn't your product. And you know what? It's probably not you either. The real disconnect is in the marketing. And the best part, that's something we can absolutely fix. So here's the game plan. We're going to start with what I call the great marketing paradox. Then we'll dive deep into the psychology of buying and the mechanics of belief. After that, we'll look at how you go from just being a business to becoming a movement. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover the 4 fatal mistakes you have to avoid at all costs.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. You know that old saying, if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door? Well, it's a lie. It's just not true anymore. The world is way too noisy, way too crowded for a great product to just succeed all on its own. So if it's not the product itself, what actually makes people buy? I'll give you a hint. It's not the logic, it's not the features, it's not the benefits. At least not at first. It's something much deeper, almost primal. So let's get into our very first truth. And that brings us to truth number 1. All human behavior, and I mean all of it, is driven by the desire for status. Now hang on, because this is super important. When I say status, I'm not talking about fancy cars or designer clothes. We're talking about an internal feeling. It's about how a decision makes a person feel about themselves. I love this visual because it makes the whole idea so simple. Just imagine every single potential customer you have is walking around with this invisible bag. And with every decision they make, big or small, they're subconsciously asking one thing: how can I add something to this bag? This is the question that's just running on a loop deep inside your customer's mind. It's the filter for everything. Every product, every service, every single offer gets passed through it. Is this going to make me feel better about myself or worse? It's that simple. So what actually fills that status bag? Well, think about it. Your product increases their status if it makes them feel smarter or more powerful, wealthier, more stylish, happier, maybe more attractive. Your marketing has to clearly communicate how you deliver on at least one of these things. Okay, this leads us right into truth number 2, and this one is a big one. It's probably the most counterintuitive thing we'll talk about. See, we're always told to sell new and improved, but the brands that are really winning, they're selling new and different.
And here's exactly why that's so powerful. When you offer an improvement, you're basically forcing someone to admit that their old way of doing things was wrong. That's a huge blow to their status, right? But a new opportunity, that's a totally clean slate. It's a chance to become someone new, to chase a desire without all the baggage of their past failures. This is how you speak to the 98% of people, not just that tiny 2% of superachievers.
Okay, so you've got it. A new opportunity that promises to increase their status. But how do you get people to actually believe it's possible for them? Well, this is where we start to engineer the yes. And this is truth number 3, the big domino. Look, your job isn't to fight off every single little objection a customer has. That's exhausting. Your job is to find the one core belief, the one big domino, that if you can get them to believe that, all their other objections just become irrelevant and fall away. Just ask yourself, what is the one single thing they absolutely need to believe to say yes? But here's the catch. To knock over that big domino, you can't just throw a bunch of facts and figures at it. It's not going to work. Why? Because logic doesn't create belief. Emotion does. And that, my friends, is truth number 4. This is a fundamental law of persuasion. People don't buy with logic, they buy with emotion. Then they use logic to justify the decision they've already made. So your job is to create an emotional epiphany first, that aha moment where the customer feels the truth of what you're offering. Only then will they start looking for the logical reasons to back up what their heart already wants. All right, so let's see how all these pieces fit together for our final and most powerful truth. This is where we go beyond just making sales. This is where we start creating real, actual change. This is how you transform a business into a movement. And here it is, Truth number 5. Movements are basically built on 3 pillars. It's a formula. First, you need a charismatic leader or guide. Yep, that's you. Second, you need a future-based cause, something exciting that people want to be a part of. And third, you need that new opportunity we talked about to act as the vehicle that gets them there. To really get the power of creating a new belief, think about this story. For generations, I mean for decades, the world's greatest athletes, the top scientists, they were all absolutely convinced that the human body was physically incapable of running a mile in under 4 minutes. It wasn't just an idea, it was a universal, limiting belief. And then, Roger Bannister did it. He didn't just break a world record, he completely shattered a collective false belief for the entire planet. And you know what happened next? The crazy part? Within a year, dozens of other runners did the exact same thing. Bannister didn't just run fast. He created a new opportunity, a new belief, and that started a movement. That is the power your marketing should be aiming for. So that story shows you the incredible power of getting this stuff right. But it's just as important, maybe even more so, to understand what happens when it all goes wrong. So let's flip the coin and look at the common traps, the mistakes that businesses make that are silently killing their success. Okay, we're going to run through 4 of the absolute most fatal mistakes. Number 1 is teacher mode, where you lecture instead of inspire. Number 2 is technobabble, and we'll dig into that one in a second. 3 is selling only to your diehards, that tiny 2% who already love you while you ignore everyone else. And number 4, a big one, blaming the customer when your message just isn't working. Oh man, technobabble is such a classic mistake. We all do it. You get so excited about your amazing product that you just word vomit all the features and data and specs all over your customer. But remember truth number 4? Emotion comes first. Hitting someone with all that logic before they've had that emotional aha moment, it doesn't persuade them. It just annoys them and pushes them away. And what about the antidote to blaming the customer? It's actually incredibly simple. Just stop assuming you know what's best. The market has all the answers you need. Your job is to find a hot market, a group of people who are already spending money to solve a problem, ask them what they really want, and then just give it to them. Build the thing they're asking for.
So when you boil it all down, here's the crucial takeaway. Great marketing isn't about the latest tactics or hacks. It's about deeply understanding human psychology. So as you leave this, I want you to ask yourself one single question. Are you just selling an improvement? Or are you offering a new opportunity, the foundation for a real movement? Because trust me, the answer to that question will change absolutely everything.